Do you find books boring, thereby making you not read books? Do you find books being good, but then you are unable to concentrate? Do you find books being good, but then you don't have that motivation, that morale, that drive to read? This video is dedicated to you. And for all the people who have at one time or another requested me to guide them on how to love books once again, let's gather here. I'm very certain that you are going to pick one or two gems of wisdom and you are going to apply it in your case and redeem your bookish fear and stuff like that. But before we do that, I come to your vengo palvana to fronta here. I'm Lord, I come to do your will. This is what we see in TPOOPA. In demonstrating what I'm talking about, allow me to use these books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 books. And I'm going to tell you something about them and how. It is said that men and women hate being taught. They hate being to do something. They would rather discover something on themselves and do it. And that way they are going to do it excellently. And than just being told, do this, do that. They don't want that. And I also do not want to bulldoze you on anything. I just want to explain my case. In case you can pick something from that. That's it. Now, I have talked about this book in my YouTube channel, Samuel Waragu Senior. And you can go to the description of that video, and get the details of this book. I'm not going to repeat this, but it is about the Enneagram. Of course, you can see the circle with the 9 points. And remember, we talked about personalities. And when I picked this book, as I said in the other video, I was motivated to read the Enneagram by a person I follow on social media called, I think she's called Evalos Daniel, who describes herself as a number 8 in the Enneagram. And I didn't know even why she loved describing it, assuming that all of us know about the numbers. Then a time came and of course I read this book. First of all, again, because I also wanted to see how the Enneagram can help me to grow spiritually and also to facilitate me in helping others grow spiritually using this tool, which is ancient first of all, but then it is for a new spiritual journey. Now, when I read this book, I discovered that there in each of the 9 personalities, I was trying to see, where do I fit? Am I a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 9? And I don't want to say which number I am right now, but of course I was able to diagnose myself and I see where I am in the Enneagram. But apart from that, there are the examples of personalities, of public figures, or literary figures, or musical figures that Richard Rohr and Andreas Ebert were giving us examples, the best examples they can give of people who belong to each of different personalities. And I just came across one of those examples that these authors were giving, and I sat down like this and said, so is this the reason why I feel so much attracted to Pope John Paul this second. Yet he died before, I think before either I was born, or not that I must have been a very small boy. But honestly speaking, I don't know anything about him. I've only read about him, and I felt so much attracted to him and said that if I were to go in heaven today, one of the popes that I would like to meet is Pope Pope John the 23rd. And looking at the Enneagram, that's where I got my answer. And now, due to this, it developed in me a thirst for more and more and more about the Enneagram. And this is how I have been able to go and check for this. These books I have not read them, remember. I have not read them. But they are books that, given time, I would like to read. My Best Self Using the Enneagram to Free the Soul. This book. The Enneagram, A Journey of Self-Discovery. This book. In fact, this book is like a summary. In case you don't want to look too much into things, just want to get just a brief idea of each of those personalities, this is the book to pick. Then there is this book called The Personality Types, Using the Enneagram for Self-Discovery. Now, this one is more deep, because in each of the 9 personalities, it is taking each of the personalities. Let's say, for instance, number 1, the ones are divided into 3. There's the average, there is the healthy ones, and the unhealthy ones. The average, they are given in 3 groups. The healthy ones, they are 3 groups. The unhealthy ones, they are in 3 groups. So you can see that out of each personality, there are other 9 sub-personalities. So for those people who want to go deep and deep, then this is the book to pick. I have not read this one, but I'm going to tell you that I'm going to make it even more like a Bible, as I said in the other video about this book. Then apart from that, there is this Merton, an Enneagram profile. So for those people who know this man, this author, this is a great spiritual teacher. A great spiritual teacher. And he is described as a 4, number 4 in the Enneagram. So I'm going to read this. I've not read this book, but I'm going to read in order to understand the 4s better with a person like this one, who is so reverend, so respected in the spiritual circles, in the spiritual matters. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 4 books. So why am I even telling you about this? I'm telling you because everything started here. But again, it did not start here. It started with a social media personality, a profile on LinkedIn. A person saying this. Then out of curiosity, it drives me to this book. And this book opens a kind of a Pandora. I don't know, so that's the thing to say, a Pandora's box or stuff like that. And you can see now, from one social media post or description, leading me to this, and then this leading me to this. And now that can also tell you that if I were to read this is going to open me to so many books by Thomas Merton. I have not read so much about him, but you can be certain that reading about him is also going to inspire me to read more about what he has written elsewhere. This is how we develop love for doing something. So it is kind of either out of curiosity, so you want to feed your curiosity, or you are undergoing a problem and you are looking for a solution. And once you get a solution, you want to get more and more and more and more. That is life. And on this, I cannot fail to mention that in this life, there are some people who bless our life so much. Maybe they don't know. Maybe it is high time that we let them know. I talked about some 10 bookish men, and I have already talked about 7 or 8 there. And I cannot end this video without recognize one Catholic priest from the Archdiocese of Nyeri. I'm not going to name him because I'm not very sure whether he can be comfortable being named in a platform such as this one. But I'm just going to give you the initials. AM. A is the baptismal name and M is the other name. You might know him. There's no homily that he is going to conclude without mentioning at least 1 or 2 or 3 books. He is fond of quoting books, even books. Well, a number of Christians don't like that, but they are the ignorant ones. But from where I see, I feel so good. In fact, part of what we do in TPOOPA and Samuel Waragu Senior YouTube channel is an inspiration from that priest. And as we continue celebrating 10 years of marriage, myself together with my wife, I feel honored that I have come across this priest who has never been afraid of being misunderstood by the Christians. And it is through that I've in a way also developed love for books, and not just books, but also even talking about them. And in fact, the journey of even talking about them, as I might feel later on, has done so good, so well in my life. Not just writing, just this talking, this production of these videos has been a very big blessing to my life, irrespective of the views or stuff like that. Just sitting here talking and uploading.